I do, and welcome to part 2 of Paul, Lynn and Graham's ride into Yorkshire. Right, so Graham's all fueled up, and we've fixed, or we've figured out the problem with the Scala and Bluetooth headsets. I've fitted the sat-nav on the bike on this day. It's been in its case all winter, and the Bluetooth on the sat nav was connecting to the Scala. Now I know you can have both on, and I haven't really had real chance to figure out how to have them both on. So you've got navigation as well as talking from rider to pillion and pillion to rider. I've no doubt I'll sort of have a play with that and figure it out, but until then I just disabled the Bluetooth on the sat nav, and away we went. So here we are on the A59. There's Lynn again, just heading, well, bypassing Clitheroe. This is the Clitheroe bypass, and on our left now, but you can't see it, you'll see it when the front camera comes on, is Pendle Hill. Now Pendle Hill is famous for the Lancashire witches story, where they actually hung women for being witches a long time ago. If you look it up, Lancashire witches, you'll find loads of information on various websites. And recently Steve's 900 Hornet went over Pendle Hill, so check that video out. I think he filmed it on Sunday the 13th of March, which is the day after this. So he went over there to the well springs up on top where the ski lift is, and past the Nick of Pendle down towards Pendleton. Now I was hoping he'd go through Pendleton. Pendleton's a lovely little village. There is an MP that lives there. I'm at pains to mention his name, but anybody who lives in the River Valley will know exactly what I'm speaking about. So we're off. We're actually off now. Graham has turned his camera on. Sorry, my mistake. Graham at this point didn't have his camera on. He turns the camera on after we come to the lay-by at the end of this video. He turned it on then, so hopefully you'll see some footage from Graham's camera as well as our 2 on this one. It does say quad camera on the title. I suppose that's a little bit of a fib really, because the GoPro, as you'll see in the description on part 1, the GoPro camera, I've decided to have that on its own, on separate videos, because that's basically showing from a, not a bird's eye view, from a bike's eye view position. So that will be a series of videos specifically for anyone who's interested in what it actually looks like from my angle, rather than the contour up on top, which is fabulous, gives you great views, but it doesn't really give you the sense of being on the bike, if you know what I mean. Anyone who's seen the recent videos with the GoPro will know exactly what I mean. So we're heading just towards the turning for Chatburn down here on the left. quite a few bikes out on this particular day, which is good news. And we're coming here at the bottom of Soley Brow. Took me by surprise there. Very, very light on the steering. You know, for a big bike, she's very, very nimble. If you look at the bike, photos of the bike, you think it's just a lumbering lump, but far from it. I can tell you now, as you'll see when we get into well into Yorkshire on these country lanes. The ones with the stone walls, Sam, plenty more. Love it. Yorkshire is famous for dry stone walls. Unfortunately, as a colleague at work told me recently, the reason, apart from the lack of maintenance, the reason a lot of them are in such a bad state is because they're stealing. People are stealing the stones for building various things at their house. So there is nothing sacred at all. I mean, I suppose it's nothing new really, because for instance, another video of mine on my other channel, Paul's Odds and Ends, where we visit Corfe Castle in Dorset. A lot of the destruction of the castle was in fact for building of the dwellings, the cottages in the village of Corfe. Beautiful village, and the castle was the source of the stones for building the village. So there's two ways of looking at it. So, but as I say, it's a modern day thing going on now where people are stealing the dry stone walls. The only danger, of course, is that if people undermine the walls, they could collapse during heavy rains, and that could mean that there could be stones in the road, or indeed animals, farm animals, sheep and cattle could actually get out onto the roads, and often they do, resulting in terrible accidents or incidents of collisions with animals. We're thinking about. Right, so we've just got to the summit of Soley Brow, and we're heading now towards Gisborne. Now Gisborne is on the border of Lancashire and Yorkshire, and it's kind of the gateway really to the county of Yorkshire. We often take the A682 from Gisborne, and that takes you to Long Preston, but on this occasion we're going straight on, carrying on the A59. And we're passing here on the left hand side. There's a hotel called the Stirk House. That's S-T-I-R-K, Stirk House. And in 2007 the Northern Pan Riders had an absolutely fantastic weekend there. We have currently decided to leave the club after 10 very, very happy, well, almost 11 very happy years with the club, but it's time to move on. And 2007's weekend special at the Stirk excuse me, at the Stirk House was for us one of the highlights of being members of that club. Here we are in Gisborne, and I will upload some video from that weekend. It'll be on Paul's Odds and Ends, and I'm sure some people might be glad to see some of it. Yeah, it was a good weekend. We had some as well as, it wasn't a case of just riding. We had on the Saturday night we had Ceilidh dancing. Now we've never done ceilidh dancing before, and oh, what a scream! What an absolute scream! You know, you had people amongst us who could indeed do the ceilidh dancing, who had done it before, and you had us and a few others who were complete novices. And oh, I can hear the guy now that was the organizer. I forget what his title was or is. People who do ceilidh dancing will be able to answer that. Please comment. I can't remember what it's called now. And he was telling us to turn, and then he said, "No, the other way." You know, it was just a good laugh, an absolute good laugh, and most of it because I had, as you can imagine, I had a camcorder. I actually had it mounted on a mirror. I seem to remember a big mirror on the wall, and I used a suction mount, a really good one. It'd have to be a good one to be up there all night, and it was a hard disk drive camcorder, so you know, I just left it recording, and it captured it captured all this dancing. And there are people on there which who are sadly no longer with us, so I'll always treasure that footage. I really will. So that were a happy weekend, and thank you to all in the Northern Pan Riders. Anybody who watches this who is still in the club, thank you from both Lynn and me for 11 almost happy years. We certainly got to know Yorkshire very well thanks to the club. It really sort of brought out the explorer in me. So whereas, you know, previously throughout the 1980s when we were biking before our daughter was born, we'd probably, you know, go to Devil's Bridge via all the fast routes, you know, the A65, the motorway. I can't remember. I'm sure I must have gone down Horton and Ribblesdale, but I certainly wouldn't have found a lot of roads that the club introduced us to. You know, we'd be riding, and I wouldn't have a clue where we were, because we had a brilliant system used in the club called a drop-off system, and anybody in a club that uses that system knows full well that really it's the best way, the best use of you know, for safety. Right, so here we are at the lay-by. Graham's going to turn his camera on, and we'll see you on part 3. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.